Musically meditated.
Musically meditated. Musically meditated.
Welcome to Musically Meditated Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Riley. First things first, shameless self-plug. You can find Musically Meditated Podcast on all podcast listening platforms except where, Sretton? Anchor. All right. He's with us, though. What's up, dude?
I'm here.
All right.
Anchor.
All right, Anchor. But easiest way to check us out is on YouTube, and we have these glorious, beautiful new videos. Right, Sret?
Oh, yeah. High def.
Right. And,
super high def.
Super high def.
Not 4K, but.
Not 4K, but maybe. I don't know if we want 3.5. Yeah, I don't know if we want to be like that clear anyway.
Yeah.
You can see my weird red eye right now. But at any rate, another thing too, check out Hobart Lumber Company. They're at 630 Main Street in Hobart. The number is 219-945-3031. And you can go to their website. They've been a family business since 1915, and they're in 3 different locations, and they have lumber, building materials, hardware, home improvement, cabinets, and flooring. So please check out Hobart Lumber, and thanks, Hobart Lumber, for helping us out. Now, we're going to move on to our guests today, and they are in the band Parker, and we have both of the Parker brothers, and I'll let you guys introduce yourself. I'll start with you, though, Pat.
All right. So I'm Pat. 31. I don't know how crazy we're going here. Got a daughter.
Right on.
Yeah, grew up on the southeast side of Chicago. Proud to be a Chicago-based band. Great city for music to kind of get out there and get our music heard. Yeah, love music forever. I'm an electrician by day and musician by night. So
right on. Union strong, huh?
Yeah.
Right on. Me too.
Definitely. All right, sweet.
Cool, man. Cool.
And yeah, I guess that's it. Just love music. Glad to be here.
Thanks, dude.
What do you play in the band?
Yeah, what do you play in the band?
I play lead guitar in the band. And then when we record, I do lead guitar, rhythm, electric, bass tracks, and dabble with some piano stuff.
Cool, man.
And vocals.
Yeah.
All right, and we have Dev. What's up, Dev?
What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
What you got to say about yourself, dude?
I am Devin Parker. I play rhythm guitar in the band Parker, and I sing. I do some yelling, and I do some kind of slow singing and just try to serenade people, So I do that. I'm a designer by day, artist, and I have 3 beautiful children, and they're great. Love music,
awesome.
And I'm excited to be here and talk to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. As far as Parker goes, I've been listening to you guys for the last couple of weeks, but a lot the last 5 days. I hear really like a lot of good melody, awesome voice, awesome, like melody guitar lines too. What kind of guitar do you have? Like, what's your gear setup?
For live, I've got I use a Gibson Heritage guitar. So if you're not familiar with that, it's when Gibson split up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. A couple guys stayed, so they still continue to make those Heritage guitars. So it's a Gibson, just in my opinion, a lot lighter and sounds just as good. So I dig it.
What's the body look like? Like a Les Paul?
Yeah, Les Paul. Yeah, like a sunburst, a dark sunburst color.
It's thinner and lighter than a Les Paul. It's beautiful.
Yeah, because Les Pauls are anchors, man.
Yeah,
the original ones are heavy, super heavy.
Yeah.
So I can move around a little bit on stage with it, but I'm saving up to get a Telecaster, so I want to jump on that Fender side because I dig Fenders. So
yeah, Fenders are awesome.
But I got the Telecaster.
You do have the Tele?
Yeah,
Stay over on the Gibson side, Pat.
All right. Yeah, Pat.
I gotta
work your way up, dude.
I got a semi-hollow body thin line Fender Telecaster.
Cool.
It's a beautiful guitar. I got it at Guitar Center for $700. They tried to charge me like $750, and I told them I'm leaving.
I'm leaving if I don't get that $50 cut, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Yeah,
cool.
My grandma took me there to get it.
Awesome.
That was a long time ago.
Shout out to Grandma.
Shout out to Grandma.
Shout out to my grandma. Hi, Grandma. But what do you guys tune into?
Standard.
Just standard?
Yeah.
Everything standard? And how about your rig as far as like your cabinets or anything? You got anything special or?
JCM 900 cab. And then right now we're using some of our drummer stuff for live. So Trev's got like a really awesome like tube Vox head, like a vintage one. Yeah, sounds great.
I'm playing out of that.
Awesome.
And I got a Mesa tube head right now too. So
okay, cool. Yeah, Mesa's the cat's meow, man. Great sound for sure. I like orange. Orange is kind of popular and trendy now, but Mesa's always been good, especially for like the metal stuff.
Yeah.
20 years ago, but they make a really good cabinet. As far as the Chicago scene goes, I guess I'll go with you, Deb. Like, were you in any other bands before this?
Yeah, we were in a band for a really long time, and it was called the Overdrive.
Okay.
And we were in that band from when we were like, I think we played our first show when we were like 12 years old at La Rosa's. It was a pizza place. You guys might remember that, but they used to have a jam nights on Wednesday with a band called Biscuit in the Mix, and me and Pat
Biscuit.
And we had
I played Biscuit.
Yeah,
Shout out to Biscuit.
and I had I played the drums at that time, and Pat was guitar and singing. We had another dude, and we were that's where we started on Wednesdays, and then we played out almost every weekend.
Sundays.
Yeah,
Sunday nights,
was it
right?
Sundays?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had school in the morning.
Right.
But yeah, we played out for a really long time. We played in that band till, I don't know, we were probably like 18.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, then kind of started having babies.
Life happened,
family.
yeah.
Yeah.
People started having kids and
Jobs.
jobs that we started caring about and
College.
Yeah, college.
College
I
stuff.
remember that. I remember that stuff. We've talked about it before on the show, but do you remember Fireside Bowling Alley?
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys go to a lot of shows there?
Actually, not
I
really.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I got to
That
make
was-
it to a Fireside show.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah,
you
over
remember it, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
dude.
Yeah.
Okay. That was like a Chicago punk staple.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
You know,
was
forever.
Yeah, right there. And I used to live right down the street from it when I lived in Logan Square. I think most of our shows when we were going, it was like Metro was the place.
Yeah, it's
Congress.
Yeah.
You know.
Reggie's is great
Aragon.
too.
Yeah, Reggie's now.
For Southside, you guys got any shows at Reggie's coming up, or have you played there yet? Or
We're setting one up right now, actually.
Okay, cool.
So we'll be there in a couple months.
okay.
Yeah, Reggie's
Sweet.
is cool for Southside. Yeah, Aragon's a nice one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Aragon, that's huge.
Yeah,
Metro's always been my favorite. I really like the Thalia Hall or Thalia Hall, however you say it.
yeah,
That place is up and coming too. Really great sound.
yeah.
And that's in
Pilsen.
Pilsen. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right by Pat. Pilsen's south side of the city is kind of picking up a lot.
It is,
more like
man.
art and
It is.
music, and that's really cool to see that happen.
Super cool. So you guys are from the South Side, and I really hope you
Mm-hmm.
answer this next question the right way, or at least in my
Sox.
head.
Sox
Are you White Sox or Cubs?
Sox.
All right,
If I'm-
I love you guys.
If I'm
man.
cheering for
we got to call these
All the
guys
way.
again and have them back on. All right, you guys are all right. All
Yeah.
right. That was the big question of the whole show.
Yeah, we rarely. I mean, I think I stopped
That
watching
was
baseball.
determining the length of the interview.
Yeah, right. Like, let's cut them
And
off.
that's a
son.
wrap.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel like we stopped watching baseball when Big Frank left, or when
Yeah,
Michael
oh, yeah, the
Jordan was,
hurt.
was
Oh
on
yeah,
the
who was on the
35.
Sox?
But it's been forever. But
Yeah.
I enjoy going to a Sox game every once in a while and eating food. And drinking
Ballpark
beers.
Frank
Ballpark
There we
Frank.
go.
and a tall Miller or something.
Yeah,
for-
Tall
for
Miller.
like $16.
All right. I also see here that you guys got to record at Gravity Studios in Chicago,
Oh yeah,
and that's for your EP. So everybody check out their EP, Never Growing Old, 5-track. It's really good. But what's some of the background on that, on the Gravity sessions?
yeah. So when we were looking of where we wanted to record, we went and checked out a lot of studios in Chicago, and there's a million really great studios in Chicago. I feel like Gravity, we really clicked with the guy who was there that produced us, mixed and engineered, and his name was Daniel Clayton Farnsworth, and he looks just like the one of the Hanson brothers from the
Yes.
movie Slapshot. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and he's just
And
like
he's a huge hockey fan.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like hockey jerseys every time
Every
in
day.
session. Yeah.
He's a Blackhawks guy, I hope.
Yeah,
Alright.
he was a Hawks guy.
All right, cool.
yeah, any kind of hockey, and this dude is like all for it. But he was really cool. He played every instrument as well. So it was, when we were laying down a track, he would be able to pick up a guitar and like, hey, let's try this. Or on keyboard, he would really put in an effort that was really special to us, and we really felt like that was a great place to be, and to work with him was really nice. So Gravity, we really just had a great vibe there that we wanted to
Cool.
spend time recording.
Where's that at in the city?
That's in Wicker Park.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
North Avenue.
Cool. That's what they say too. Like in a band, the producer could always be like the fifth member or sixth, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of great
Yeah.
bands, they'll admit that too. Like Terry Date's one that always pops in my head. Like he was with Incubus, Deftones, Pantera, and you look back at those old interviews, and Terry was like the sixth member. Always
Mhm.
putting the music in the right direction, and it's a
Yeah.
good thing to have a producer that's, I don't know, on top of his game and a musician as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had him come out and he played piano for us at the Bottom Lounge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, a couple weeks after we released the EP.
Yeah, Bottom Lounge
So-
is a nice place to see a show.
Mm-hmm.
Super nice. Super nice. I like that spot a lot.
Yeah.
As far as your backgrounds, let's get into some of your influences. You know, we'll jump into that. Like I said earlier, it's pop punk, but I'm sure you guys get asked that a lot, or you're told that you sound like pop punk. But there's other musical influences that, you know, switch your style or your taste up, or maybe your songwriting process. And one that we talked about earlier was it Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into that because that's pretty interesting. How does Taylor Swift influence you guys? I mean, Pat, you could speak.
Her just the songwriting, like the way she structures songs, and to me, I never really I feel like I always say it refer to it as unlocking a key to writing lyrics with songs. And for some reason, to me, she's got what a lot of other musicians don't have, because she consistently just tells a story. And I never realized how important just sharing a story through the song actually is, instead of just composing lyrics. So it doesn't really have to be not even necessarily rhyming. She's just the whole emotional storyteller. She's, I don't know. It helps our songs so we can kind of push them along to, I don't know, lyrics. I guess I've learned the most from her.
Okay.
And I feel like musically, so, Taylor Swift will sit down to write a song, and she'll think of what simple story she's telling with that one song in that 3 minutes. And every instrument that has anything to do with that song is there for a reason, and it's all there to support
accompany,
that story.
Yeah.
So a lot of times in music now, and in music when we were in a band in the past, we'd play a cool riff and we'd say, wow, that's cool, let's make that into a song. And then we would play drums and we would add a fill or do something because it was technical and sounded interesting to us. Whereas now we pull all of that back and say, does this support the story? Is that role at that time a part in the story that we're trying to, things are kicking up or things are taking a change now, so we're going to bring in this piano part. So everything that we're doing is just, we try to find a very simple thing like Taylor Swift does, and everything is building to support that simple thing.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even deciding to, like you said with the guitar riffs and melodies and stuff, we could play something that might sound great, but we'll turn it down just because it doesn't fit our lyrics and the story. I guess. Yeah.
If they compete in any way,
you get rid of it.
Yeah.
it's all story first.
All story.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a cool songwriting process. Who does the lyrics? Is it you, Dev, or is it Pat?
Both.
No, it's
Both of you
us.
guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Okay.
So it'll
typically
usually
start
go-
on acoustic.
It starts on acoustic or piano, and we'll just kind of write something, and then we'll try to get it as far done. Individually, we live separately, so I'll write something or he'll write something, and then we're our first critic. So I'll write the whole thing and kind of record it, and then we'll get together and share it with the other person, and the other person is like, I don't like this, let's move this around, or let's say these words here, or let's change these things up, and then it kind of forms into something. That's usually how it goes.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. I was listening to the lyrics pretty deep, and I did this last time. Shout out to Detour North. You guys said that you played with them before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who is she? Who is she? Why is she making you guys so upset? I'm just joking, but is there? Yeah, but man, I could tell she's upsetting you guys.
It's actually
Okay.
So a lot of people will listen to our music and they'll say, they'll assume it's about a girl.
Right. That's what I'm doing it, but it's
Yeah.
not.
No.
Okay.
We have a song called My Prayer. And that song I wrote, and it's kind of, I know this could be a bad thing to
go ahead,
kind of tell what a song is about.
Right.
For, some songwriters say don't give that away. But that song, I wrote that song. We used to have a guitar player in our band, Overdrive, who passed away when I was 16 years old. And I wrote that song, My Prayer, shortly after that. And that song is a story to myself, because I feel like, when that happened, my emotional side was really distant and not there. So the song is, I'd hold my breath, but I'm not breathing. Wake me up, but I'm not sleeping. It's kind of me talking to myself, to that part of myself that isn't there. And it's like, I'm running again, and now I can't think straight. It's about my emotional self running away. and like Never Growing Old, you know, that's about the town we grew up in and that feeling of, you know, just having fun and being a kid, and you know, we grow up from it now, and we say that, you know, it's difficult to be there, but I feel like, you know, we should really try to live that feeling, you know, forever. I gotta live fun on my knuckles.
There you go. Yeah,
know?
be a
That's
kid
our-
forever, ain't it?
that's our
Not take anything
manifesto.
like entirely
Yeah.
too serious. But
Yeah.
back to that On My Own and then The Day I Died, that's like there's two songs in one because the later half is the acoustic, right?
Yeah,
And that's what you were talking about?
Yeah, so
Okay.
On My Own is about a girl.
Okay, see, that's
Um,
right.
yeah.
All right.
So that one is, and that's about not just one, but
A few.
maybe a series
There's a
It
couple
happens.
of
Yeah,
them.
there's a couple.
of women in our lives
Mhm.
growing up, and that's just, I mean, that's about the feeling of just like, you know, you're with someone and they're great, and you feel, you know, wonderful, and there might not be anything wrong with them, but a piece of you just kind of wants to go to a concert by yourself and not have to worry about anybody else, or not have to make plans, or, you know, sometimes
Meet friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just it's just like, you know,
Thanksgiving. You know.
Dude, I just want to kind of be on my own
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, and I feel like we all do.
We do.
Yeah.
So that was about that, and then The Day I Died is actually I wrote that song when my grandma passed away, my dad's mom, and I wrote that kind of from his and her perspective.
Okay.
And that was I wrote that song probably like 10 years ago.
Awesome.
Awesome,
man.
so that song was about that.
As far as the EP, the decision to do an EP, you know, they used to do that a lot back in the day, like in the 90s, and they're kind of going back to that direction now. You think that has something to do? I mean, I'm going to ask, why did you guys do it? But I think it might have something to do with like the digital age, right? Like, is it easier to release an EP like 5 tracks instead of a full length, or?
I feel like it was our first. Yeah, it was our first release of this band. You know, so we wanted to just kind of not come out with a full length. We just kind of wanted to get a taste
out
of
there.
what we were doing, and you know, budget is always
Right.
Yeah.
We're like,
And then
Budget's
especially with the so there's 4 songs and then the acoustic too. So we didn't want to dump double that money into the same studio if we weren't kind of happy with the way that it
Okay.
turned out. And then I think pretty much that. And then our we did pre-production too in Naperville with Adam Cryer of Lucky Boys Confusion, and we were even considering just going in and doing like 1 track and releasing a single. And then he's like, yeah, you know, you pay a lot to like get the whole setup, and once you get everything like dialed in, you might as well do
Might
a
as
couple
well
songs
knock
while
it
you're
out,
there.
yeah.
You know,
So that probably, that makes sense then for the EP. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Right.
As far as influences go, let's talk about Oasis, Dev. You threw out some Oasis, and
oh yeah,
I love Oasis, and you guys are brothers. So is there any competition like Noel and Liam there? You guys butt heads?
dude,
Or?
absolutely.
All right.
Oh yeah, Oasis is a band that, you know, we grew up listening to, and it was just kind of like, you know, Wonderwall and those things are like the first, you know, songs we learned how to play on guitar. So there's that part of it, but then the brother part of it is really there too.
Yeah.
Like growing up, me and Patrick, we would fight so much that our family members wouldn't take us someplace together.
at the same time.
Yeah, one time.
One would have to go to Grams, and one would have to go to like the other Grams for the holiday, or stay the night and all that.
Yeah, because we'd be trying to kill each other. I was telling someone at work this story the other day. One time, we got in a fight, and I stabbed him in the leg with a pencil, and he's still got the
Oh, you
lead
got
in
the
there.
mark? You got the lead tattoo?
The lead's in underneath the skin. Yeah.
And
Over.
then I think he punched me or something, and I went running after him, and he grabbed one of those triangle rulers, and he like boomeranged it across the room, and it stuck in my arm, and it was just like I lifted my arm, and this thing was stuck in there, and we both just freaked out and stopped fighting.
Right.
You know? But
Some
we would do
bloodshed
that. That was like
all the
every
time.
day for
Yeah.
us growing up. And then when it came into songwriting, it's like I feel like there's always like a, you know, as much as we don't want there to be competition, or as much as we want to, you know, both be on the same page and both, you know, be there, there always is this
Yeah.
like,
Healthy
It's like
competition.
his songs are competing against my songs, but then it ends up being the same song. So it's like that's literally kind of what happens.
yeah.
You know, like he'll have his own tune and then show me that, and I'll try to change it. And even though we change it, I could tell he's kind of like, I
It's the
really
same
wanted it that way, you know.
Right.
But then it ends up being the same thing anyway, same song.
Yeah.
And that's what Parker is it's like, a blend of both me and Pat kind
Cool.
of
Yeah, it creates like that competition's a great creative force for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you guys get along better than Liam and Noel. But Liam, he's totally rock and roll, man. Like I don't know if you've ever watched any like YouTube clips of him, like his most memorable moments, but he's like a total rock star. He says whatever he feels, like he's confrontational with the paparazzi, and he just really embodies the whole rock and roll, I don't know, image, man.
Yeah.
And then Noel, he does too, but you could tell he's not as, I don't know, random and chaotic as Liam, but they're awesome. Like I wish they could get back together. Liam put out an album a couple years ago, a solo one. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys checked it out, but it was really, really good album, man.
I definitely will check it out. I was watching, they got the Supersonic movie on Netflix. I was watching that the other day, and there's just so many parts of that are like, dude, that's gonna be me and Pat. Like, at one point, they got into a fight on stage.
Is it about Oasis? The movie is?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Oh, cool.
And at one point, they got into like an argument on stage, and then Liam just like took off after the show, and they couldn't find him, and he was just like. He just went to San Francisco to like hide because he didn't want to be in the band anymore. But they like went through the calls and found him in San Francisco, hanging out. And they were like, "Dude, get your ass back here.
Get back.
We got shows to play." But that's gonna be Pat.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be me. If I call you guys looking for a place to stay, that's
so you're the Liam and you're the
trying to
Noel.
hide out.
Yeah, I'm like the driver, and Pat's like the, and I will like totally call you and be like, dude, we gotta be at this place at that time. Whereas like Pat, if he gets overwhelmed with emotion, he'll just like not answer the phone. He's just like, I'm just gonna
can't handle it
myself.
Yeah. What else was I gonna say? Like with Oasis, the song structures were always very Brit rock, but they were able to incorporate the pop sensibility too. Yeah. And I don't necessarily get Brit pop out of listening to you guys, but you do blend the rock and like the melody very well, and it's kind of similar to Oasis,
Yeah, I think what's really great about Oasis and that we try to do is every song that we write, it starts on acoustic, and we're able to bring it back there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think any song worth recording, like with potential to be a single, has to be able to be played and broken down like on just an acoustic and kind of stand alone. To me, that's what I've learned from.
Yeah, and I feel like Oasis does that really well.
They're awesome.
Or just piano. If you can play a song on piano,
I feel like you're the rocker, dude. The rocker chords, and I'm like the melody.
Yeah,
but you got melody too, so it's
Like you can't take "Damn It" from Blink-182 and play it on the piano,
right,
and have it be a beautiful song.
Right.
But you can take "Wonderwall,"
and do it,
and that's what we try to hit with our music.
Yeah.
Perfect. And pop punk wise, I mean, we're around the same age, but I have Green Day on my list here too as an influence for you guys. I remember that Dookie album was just huge. So is that when they came into your guys' life too, Dookie? Or
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, Dookie. Then
we would cover. We've done like not every cover on that CD, but probably at least 5 or 6. They'd all Green Day's covers used to be like in our set list all the time.
Okay.
For shows growing up, yeah.
And it still is.
It still is.
Basket
We still do
case.
basket
Do you?
case. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's just like a
2
fun
guitars now though, with like some lead. Yeah.
We always bring someone up to sing it for us.
Everybody knows that song.
Right, yeah.
You even know that song, don't you?
Mm-mm.
Oh, come on.
The main parts.
The main parts?
Green Day is awesome. They really rock and roll, which is really cool. And they get the crowd incorporated in their concerts.
Yeah.
And that's something that we always try to think about and be aware of. It's like, Green Day does a lot of, call and response in their shows, and they've even, they bring fans up to jam with them on stage. And that's really cool. So
I think the other thing too with them and Blink is like, it kind of reassured us when we first started. I mean, we got 2 guitars now in our band, but kind of gave us that like extra reassurance that like you could make it as a 3-piece.
Yeah,
is
3
tough.
pieces are special.
Yeah, and if you got it and you're like a tight unit, then you could pull it off, and like they totally are an example of that. So it kind of drove us to always never really reach out and try to get that second guitarist just to make a live sound better, because like we would think like Green Day's doing it, like we can do this.
It evens it out. I mean, obviously Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, I mean, they were always a 3-piece. I mean, Pat Smear came on a little bit later, before Kurt passed away or whatever. But yeah, if you could have a 3-piece, there's just less drama and BS
Right.
too.
Yeah.
You know, it's just 3 of you. So
Yeah. Gives the bass player more, you know what I mean, kind of versatile, like being able to ride up the scale and play like on the 2 strings and stuff. Yeah.
exactly. How about Offspring? I have that on the list here too.
Oh, dude, those
Offspring.
guys are so
They were the first. No, Garth Brooks was the first concert that we went to.
Yes.
Offspring was the second.
Oh, cool. Where'd you see them at?
UIC, right?
Yeah.
UIC
Okay.
Pavilion.
Yeah, we went with our dad, and we
Yeah.
snuck down into like the
Yeah,
right
my
on the
dad
floor.
bought like the cheap like nosebleeds, yeah, but we ended up being down like right next to the pit, right outside of the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had like a break, right? And then
the
they came
Backstreet
out.
Boys.
Yeah,
they brought out like
pulled the
dummies
curtain.
of the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, and dressed them up in like Abercrombie,
Mannequins.
you know.
And then they came
then
out
they-
and beat them with bats.
Yeah, and then they started playing Backstreet's Back, and the whole crowd started like booing, like this can't be right, like this has got to be part of the skit. And then Dexter came out with like a baseball bat and just like started beating down these like
pretty tough.
Yeah, the
It's
mannequins.
pretty hardcore. Right
And then
there.
the crowd started going crazy, and he's throwing the body parts in the crowd, and then they all jammed again as a band. It was cool.
Yeah, that Smash album was huge. You know, with the skeleton on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when that came out. Like I was like 6th grade or whatever, and
Dude,
had the T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
But that was just the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, as a kid, like that in Green Day. You know, for pop punk. I mean, I know that Offspring's earlier stuff too was like heavier. You know, like they were like a little bit more actual hardcore punk with barely any melodies. But when they started to go that direction, they were able to pull it off well.
Yeah.
You know,
And Offspring was a band that was a little bit different because, you know, when we thought of being in a band, of being rock and roll, and especially like at our young ages, we're like, screw school, you know, we're gonna be rock and roll stars. And then we learned that like Offspring actually formed in college, and Dexter has like a master's in
oh, I didn't know that.
biology.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I'm like marine biology or something.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all like, yeah.
yeah, so they started as like a college jam band.
Okay.
And then that's when they wrote their music and did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I also have the Cure on your list too, and that excites me. You guys big Cure fans?
Yeah.
Yeah, take the Cure.
The melody.
We used to.
And it Robert Smith and his melodies. There's nothing better.
yeah.
We were covering that when you were talking about La Rosas. We would cover Love Song
Yeah.
by The Cure.
Oh,
When
cool.
we were like 15, 16, yeah.
Yeah, it's
cool.
like if you can play that
Cure
you know,
rocks.
on bass and you guys can all vibe together, there's just a vibe there that, you know, the Offspring has a vibe, you know, but it's like I feel like it's easier to play fast punk rock, you know, and do that than it is to play Love Song by The Cure, you know, like
Right.
especially for covering and listening to, you know, how songs flow and how everything goes together. Like, yeah, Robert Smith is.
He's the man. They're coming out with a new album this year
Yeah.
too, so I'm excited for that. They
Yeah,
still put
that'd be
out
awesome.
they still put out great music. Now moving on to the sound of commercial rock and roll. I feel like it's rock in general, it's kind of dying. I don't know if you guys agree with that. And I think, you know, with the big labels, it's easier to market a lot of country. And you guys do like country, right? And pop
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
But I think it might be easier to market that because you can get one good-looking guy or one good-looking girl and then put the band behind them and put them on a pedestal, and it's easier to sell instead of like when we were growing up, like a Nirvana as an example, getting like a bunch of teenagers together, you know, 19, early 20s that are going to be wild and trying to market that, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, do you guys agree with that? Do you see that? Do you think rock is dying because of commercial sensibilities, or?
I think it's just different now.
Okay.
You know, like bands like us, and bands that are, you know, common, you know, rock bands now, you have to do a lot more by yourself. And it's I think it's better in ways because, you know, you're making more money yourself.
Yeah, you're independent right off the bat.
Yeah.
Really no
Yeah.
label.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that you kind of need the label for is like, you know, distribution. But if you can be an unsigned band with a press person and a booking agent, you know, then you're
Set.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
You won't. And now, you know, bands aren't getting that $1 million signing check. That's
No.
non-existent anymore.
You're just paying
you know?
off your studio time.
Yeah.
You know, like they'll
Mhm.
front you the money. It's like buying a house or
Yeah.
a loan, and
And that's even back when people still bought CDs too.
Nobody
Now,
does that.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Now it's like
there's no revenue in that.
I have no clue what's going on with.
yeah,
I don't really know how we'd make money actually as a band. That's why I
just
don't
gonna-
want to quit my job yet. I'm like, I
Exactly.
don't know what's going on.
I'm just gonna make some really cool artwork for our band, and we're gonna sell
Right.
that.
Yeah,
and
maybe push
hopefully-
that side of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll take the
absolutely.
artwork and be like, yeah, the band's all right.
Merch
Yeah.
is where it's
Merch
at.
is
you
where
know?
it's at. I always try to do that. I always do that. Like if I go and see a band, go to the merch table and buy a record or buy a T-shirt because that goes a long way.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, with the commercial aspect, I'm not trying to talk bad about it or what's going on with rock. You know, and I like exactly what you guys are doing in your sound, but I definitely think it's marketable. You know, but I think that
Yeah.
a lot of these bigger labels, they're kind of focusing on that, like I said, like the pop country and stuff, because it's less risks. You know, they don't have to take as many risks maybe.
Yeah.
But with the
Yeah.
digital age, how is that working out for you guys? Because I mean, that's how I listened to you, was on Spotify. So
Yeah.
are there other places people can stream you or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're pretty much everywhere. We're Spotify, you know, Apple Music, Android.
Okay.
We have a Bandcamp, and actually, our music is for free everywhere.
Oh, cool.
So there's that, because we
Right.
were like, it's our first EP. We want it to be for free. People are probably gonna steal it anyways if they want to. So we do have some printed CDs, but I mean, yeah, mostly it's free, and it's been pretty great.
Cool. And you guys were
Yeah.
involved in the skateboard culture too in Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rollerblading more so.
Fruit boots. No.
Yeah,
Fruit
fruit booting,
Yeah.
man. We wood pushed for a while.
Yeah.
We tried, skating, all rollerblading, because we grew up playing hockey, so
Okay.
we threw on rollerblades, and we were like the best skaters at the park right off the bat.
Okay.
So it was easier for us to kind of do that,
Awesome,
hitting
man.
skate parks and.
Awesome. How about any upcoming shows? You guys have anything you'd like to plug or?
Franklin House in Valparaiso is the next one on February 1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
Franklin House,
So-
February 1st. We're playing with Lost Years,
Okay.
us, The Region, and Spineless Heartless. And it's going to be an 18th Street Brewery tap takeover day, which is going to be delicious beer. And then, there might be a special beer release that day that was designed by myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you get rock and roll and art and
Cool.
And good beer.
And good beer.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And it's a free show.
It is free?
There's
Free
no
show.
reason not to go, really, unless you're under 21.
Right. Franklin House is cool, man. I've heard of Lost Years. They're a pop punk band, right? Would
Yeah.
you say
Yeah.
aren't they from Valpo? I think, or they're from the region?
From Gary.
Yeah.
Are they from Gary?
Yeah.
They play it for Franklin House a lot, though.
Okay.
So they kind of
They're awesome.
they got a good foundation over there in Valpo.
Right on.
Yeah. We played with them a couple times, and we're buddies with those
He's-
guys. And
Yeah, Ryan, the singer, he's working on an acoustic song for us now.
Oh,
We're
cool.
recording at his studio. So
Cool. Shout out to those dudes.
yeah,
But yeah, guys, thanks for coming, man. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna close out the show with a few of your songs. But I really appreciate you guys coming through, and we'll definitely check you out. Definitely check you out at Franklin House. So everybody go to Franklin House, support these dudes, and the Chicago scene too. There's no shows coming up in Chicago anytime soon.
no,
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think we got anything booked.
yeah,
All right.
But we
we'll
will.
get there.
If you go to what's the
Anything
Parker
else you want to
Band,
plug, like a website? Or?
parkerband.net.
yeah,
You can go there, and we always got like a current up to date on all of our upcoming shows and stuff.
yeah.
So you
And
can
our,
find everything there.
and our Facebook is just Parker_band.
Okay.
And Instagram, it's the same thing. So look for us there. I'm sure we'll be in Chicago in March. And like I said, we're booking something at Reggie's, and we'll be at a couple other places. Probably set up something else at Liars Club. But yeah,
All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
coming out, guys.
cool.
Right
Thank
on.
you.
Thank
yeah, everybody
you.
check out Musically Meditated Podcast. Please subscribe and share with everyone. And we will have a link to your guys' Bandcamp page in our description. So check them out. And here's a few tracks from our Parker boys. Thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Looking at the rooftop, thinking of that old spot where I used to sit and dream. I was just a kid, and things like this would help me get through the day. And this fence right here is what got me up there. And that's the yard where we play basketball every day. And And these alleys, they feel the same after all these years have gone by. And so do I. I think I'll climb this rooftop one more time, just to see the city sky, yeah. Tell my friends I'm coming home. Whoa. Run through these old alleyways, chasing our own memories, and scream we're never growing up. You can hear the train from a mile away and get half the neighborhood playing jailbreak, hitching another ride on your friend's picks home. Whoa, and this all seems so different. Some things are missing. Where's the fort we built? And our names in chalk that we wrote on the sidewalk. Still, these alleys, they feel the same after all these years have gone by. And I'm not the same, but I'm still down to try. I'll climb this rooftop one more time, just to see the city sky, yeah. Tell my friends I'm coming home. Whoa. Run through these old alleyways, chasing our own memories, and scream we're never growing up. And I can remember holding on to you when I said I was leaving. Something inside me said I had to let you go. And I never thought that after all these years you'd still be here waiting me to come back home. So I'll climb this rooftop one more time, just to see the city sky and tell my friends I'm coming home. We'll run through these old alleyways, chasing all my memories, and scream we're never growing up. We're never growing up. We're never growing up. I'm holding on to you, and I'm never letting go. I'm holding. We've been so far, but I'm left with this heart. I'm feeling broken to the bones. So take me as I am now in your eyes, 'cause I'm trying just to grow. Don't let me go, don't let me fall. I'm trying just to keep it on the floor. It's truly everything we've ever wanted to be nothing less than what we were meant to be. We'll see the sunset on the west coast, hear the waves crash on the
summer nights back home when you were barely tall enough. Now you're tall enough. So down these notes on this guitar, 'cause you're the only one I wanna show. It's you and me and everything we've ever wanted to be nothing less than what we were meant to be. And we'll see the sunset on the west coast, hear the waves crash on the east. When you're growing up, I'll stay young forever. And I'll play you this guitar when you fall asleep in my arms, underneath all these stars. Let me go, let me fall. I'm trying just to keep it on the floor. It's you and me and everything we ever wanted to be nothing less than what we were meant to be. We'll see the sunset on the west coast, hear the waves crash on the east. When you're growing up, I'll stay young forever. When you're growing up, I'll stay young forever. And I say when you're growing up, I'll stay young forever. I'll stay young forever.
I'm musically meditated.
That's right.
I'm musically meditated. That's right. I'm musically meditated.
Producer my ass over there.